With the current situation we are dealing in Canada, there is a serious threat that young, talented Canadians will be leaving this country, moving to other places, whether that's the US, Mexico, or any other place outside of Canada. Obviously, all the situations that have happened here have kind of taken away from the lure of living in Canada, high taxation, high real estate. We'll be breaking down 3 reasons why Canadians are looking to the US for their next home. And if this is your first time here, my name's Nick. Welcome to Ways to Wealth. Before we get into the video, I'd like to ask you a huge favor. If you learn something new or you get some value out of the video, hit that like button for me. I definitely appreciate that. And if you haven't already, please consider hitting that subscribe button and turning that notification bell on. Let's get into this Financial Post article that I found discussing about the lure that the US is trying to pull in for Canadians' skilled workers. We can see here that the Biden administration is doing a 180 on the country's existing immigration policy, aiming to make it both significantly cheaper and easier for people to move to the US. This is completely different from what we saw in the Trump administration. I'm not sure on the protocol as to how to get down, but we're just going to go over the basic theory as to why people are looking to start a new venture in the US market. First and foremost, we have more opportunities. So Canada appears to be going all in on producing non-producing assets such as real estate, with residential investment accounting for a whopping 54% of GDP. And that's in Q1 alone, and 10.3% of total GDP. That surpasses the 9.3% garnered from business investment on non-residential structures, machinery, and equipment. Basically, what this is saying is that we're putting such a precedence on housing. Housing prices are already extremely high as it is, 7 times an average income. Where else, how much further can we actually go? How much more supply demand pressure can we put on the golden horseshoe? How much more immigrants can we bring in? These are kind of the factors that are steaming this right now. There is an important fact that I picked up, and probably the one that kind of strikes me the most, and that's the fact that out of all the G7 countries where R&D as a percentage of GDP it's been on the decline over the past decade. So we've put more precedence on housing than we have for research and development. I think if we look at the TSX as a component, we know that a majority of it is made up of energies, materials, industrial type stocks. Only 10% of the TSX is actually made up of technology companies, and we do know that tech is the future. I know there has been some additions, obviously Shopify being huge, Lightspeed, Dye & Durham. There's a few different ones there that have definitely come onto the radar, but at the end of the day, I think that we do need as a country to focus more on what's going to bring us into the next decade and not worry so much about maybe reducing our carbon, but more focus on technology. So that's kind of the first and foremost, the fact that our lack of innovation is basically causing a brain drain. A lot of people from the Kitchener-Waterloo area are going down to the US to go work in San Francisco and that whole area there. The second and probably important factor here is the lower taxes. So I know that Biden has come out and said that taxes won't be raised for anybody making less than $400,000. Well, that number in Canada is $214,000. So that's really where you hit the highest tax bracket in Canada. That's where I think it's 49 or almost half of your income goes to tax. So you could basically go take that money, work from home, work from anywhere. That's kind of synonymous. If you have a good relationship with your current employer, you can go down there for anything less than $518,000 US and be in good shape. So that is definitely a huge huge opportunity there. Obviously, so many people talk about healthcare, but if you do work for a good company, there are benefits there. So obviously this is more centered on the young talent, the brain drain that is leaving the country here. We also have the third factor, and something that we have touched on before: cheaper homes. So there was an article that recently came out that denoted that Hamilton was now more expensive than Los Angeles. I mean, I don't know about you, but even making, $200,000, you wouldn't be able to afford anything within, the Toronto area, going for one minimum. So detached home in the Toronto area is going for like 1.1, I think was the last month. That's like extreme valuations, 5 times, 6 times your salary. It's still super expensive, even though if you have a solid pay. So I think I saw a couple days ago, brand new townhomes going in South Carolina were $100,000. Obviously, split for currency difference, there is a factor right now that the Canadian dollar is stronger than it's ever been. So converting into US dollars would lead to your benefit right now. I did touch on that in the previous video. So they are benefiting. Anybody that is looking to go down is benefiting from that. And that's essentially what we're looking at right now. We're looking at the cheaper homes. We're looking at more opportunities. The US has always been striving for business innovation. Right now would be a good time to convert to US dollars, in my opinion. Definitely do your own research on that. But I definitely think that the US is definitely a place for growth. I think we do need to incorporate in Canada for that innovation, for pushing ourselves to the next level. I think that's where a lot of the focus should be. I know Waterloo has put a good press on that. I also think that Alberta has started to see a lot of tech companies come in with the cheaper real estate there. I'm not confirmed on that, but that's what I've heard in the past. But I think we need to do more to make it enticing for the younger generation who's willing to innovate and make us better to stay in this country. But let me know down below if you live in Canada, Ontario specifically, still like coming out of that lockdown. Have you thought about moving anywhere outside of Canada, US, Mexico? Let me know down in the comments below. I hope you enjoyed the video. Looking forward to seeing the next one come out, seeing you guys come watch the next one out. Hope you have a great week on the markets. Happy trading.